was waiting for it. Hello. Welcome back to D&D. In the last session, you guys... What did you do? You finished up the tower. You had a quick look around some stuff, and you headed back to... the farm, chilled out there for a little bit, said goodbye to Markul, who is always there if you guys want to pick him back up again. Like I said, I'd say Mazzy and Doc, because you guys live around there, you probably know the whereabouts of Duskbeat Mountain, and therefore you guys can go find him whenever you want. And you can hang out with old Markul again, but you headed back and chilled out at Mazzy's place for a little bit. Gylndan and Oramis, seeing the opportunity to maybe get a bit of information on Hawksmoor and having some stuff to do there, decided to head out to Hawksmoor immediately.
Not Oramis.
No, not Oramis. Jeffrey Fredericks.
Yeah, boy.
Decided to head out to Hawksmoor, whereas Doc, Mazzy, Caleb, and Artemisa stayed in Mazzy's home, the Calhalan farm. So, when you were there, when you were in Hawksmoor, that is, you had a quick look around. You were thoroughly inspected upon entry from the large gates, and you... Like I said, I've touched everybody. You were thoroughly inspected the gates, and you went over to see this Teleros Hammerstad, this strange person who Oramis has been told by a messenger of Dolus to give a strange little jack-in-the-box to. Instead of giving it to him at his home, you decided to leave a note under his door and meet him at a nice pub that you saw on the way in called the Dancing Dwemer in the Outsiders region of the city. That's where we will pick up, so unless you guys wanted to do anything on the way back to the Dancing Dwemer, we can say that you have...
So, Mazzy and I have stayed at just a pub just us two before, and I'd like to think this is like our time just to chill. We just have like a little spa session, all that stuff. Have a little catch up, because we don't always see each other in combat.
Very true, very true.
Always lose track of Mazzy. He's always at the back somewhere, just firing arrows.
Mazzy's still at his home. It's Oramis.
I'm not with you right now. Mazzy's not there now. It's me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit.
It's not Oramis. It's not blowing the cover.
Then just go to bed. Nothing special here.
Well, obviously you're meeting them. So Oramis, are you telling the bar who you are, so that the person might be able to find you, or are you just gonna sit and wait?
Wanted them to come and try and find that person, and then you could sit at the side and hide.
Yeah, no, I'm telling the inn that I'm Oramis.
Okay.
So that I can kind of sit in the shadows.
Okay, yeah.
Well, not in the shadows, but sit quietly.
Yeah, sit quietly in the corner.
Picture Aragorn in the Fellowship of the Ring, just in the corner of the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go into the Dancing Dwemer. There's not really much going on there at the minute. There seems to be a trio of dwarves who, by their garb, they're still wearing the same sort of clothes as all the other people that work there, with a small little symbol of a sort of dancing dwarf on their on their aprons and clothes and stuff like that. So it's a mellow crowd, but it's still fairly busy. It's quite a large place. Think decently large Weatherspoons size. It's pretty big, but you have a pretty good view of the bar. You managed to find a sort of corner booth for the two of you, while if you wanted you can buy something to eat and a drink, or you can just have your rations. Either works.
Drink, please. How much?
So for a meal, a drink, and a room for the night, that will be 3 gold. The meals consist of
Jeffrey.
either
Yeah, I'll have a meal and a room.
Oh no, you always say, how about 2?
Oh, this is Jeffrey Fredericks, okay?
It's too late now. Oh,
He
he's honest,
doesn't
is he?
bargain.
He's honest. So you sit down in this corner booth. The meals, there's not a whole lot of choice. It seems to just be either meat, potatoes and veg, or a pie and potatoes. That's it, like a meat and veg pie and potatoes. That's pretty much all they got on the menu. But this place seems to be famed for their pies and their sort of like dinners. Like everything they serve there's basically a little bit like a sort of Sunday roast dinner. So you sit down, having your little bit to eat in the corner. You can see a lot of different sort of types of people. You can see a bunch of miners sitting over somewhere near the entrance. Clearly, some sort of big group of them, maybe a dozen or two. In another corner, you can see a bunch of sort of. That was awful. In another corner, you can see a lot of guards who've clearly just got off their shift. They still have their swords and shields and things like that. A lot of sort of, like younger people, not like kids, but obviously maybe you think anywhere between 18 and 25, all this sort of big group standing there, and a couple of families there too, chilled out. And it's about maybe 8:30, 9ish, when you notice, well, you hardly really notice them, there's nothing special about them, but a slightly older dwarf walks in, very sort of Silver Fox-esque for a dwarf. He's got this sort of swept back, grey hair. You think he's maybe in his sort of early 50s. He has a small sort of pick to his side, sort of strapped to his side, and a large pouch. Not wearing anything particularly special. Quite a nice, sort of very thin beard. Doesn't really come down very long. And he steps into the bar. He is a dwarf, and he's holding something in his hand, a little bit of paper. And he heads up to the bar, and you can see him sort of speaking to someone. And you do, from where you are at, overhear either Jeffrey or Fredericks, one of those sort of words being spoken, as this guy is speaking quite loudly to the barman. On his way past as well, the bar, he does sort of wave at the miners, who seem to all wave back, and they sort of hail him over, but he's like, no, I've got something to do. Heads to the bar. Is there anything at this point you would like to do, or?
Is it Oramis that notices him and I'm just enjoying my chill out time, or would I notice him as well?
Well, it depends. So Oramis is obviously, he said he was sort of keeping an eye out for the person. It depends whether you're keeping an eye out for anyone coming into the bar, or whether you're just enjoying the food and drink.
So it's going to make you all laugh, but I think I'm Oramis's muscle in this case. So.
Yes. That +0 in strength. Total muscle.
It's not about physical strength then. Strength of the mind.
Strength of the mind, exactly. So if you're looking towards a thing, you might notice this guy coming in.
What do I instantly notice about him? Like the way he looks, the way he's speaking to people.
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Or insight. Perception or insight, either or.
Oh, damn it.
Insight,
you can roll insight as well if you...
I'll definitely do an insight too.
So from what you can sort of gather about this guy, he's pretty butch. He's, although he's definitely sort of getting on, he's clearly just come from a shift down the mine. He's still a little bit raggedy. Other than the sort of, the age, the hair, the small pick by his side and things like that, there's nothing much that's distinguishable from him or anything like that. He just sort of doesn't look anything too spectacular.
Can I turn to Gylndan and say, watch this?
Watch this. I'd rather not.
I'm gonna pick up my drink, right?
Yeah.
Start swaying all over the place on the way up to the bar, and I'm gonna bump into him and spill my drink on him and be like, "Oh, sorry, mate." Oh.
So pretending to be drunk.
Yes.
Roll me a performance check.
Okay. This is going to be rubbish. Yes.
No, it's pretty good. So you get up. Like you say, sort of start swaying towards this guy, and you do make it very, 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 very believable in that sort of you bump into him, and you do genuinely for almost like half a second allow yourself to lose balance. So you do very purposefully and accidentally spill your drink over him, and then you regain it very, very quickly and are able to get back up. He's sort of there like, what the? Oh, come on. Watch yourself. Oh, half-elf, of course, can't hold this bloody liquor. Right, the pal.
Sorry, mate. You better go home and change. Got a bit of a beer on you there, I say.
This won't be the first beer stain on me. This won't be the last beer stain on me tonight anyway. Best to get that one out of the way. You okay? You need need someone to take you home. Anyone you can get. Anyone around here looking after you?
I don't swing that way, mate. Not for me, thanks.
All right.
And just, I'm going to go up to the bar and like kind of walk past him at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything out of that. He seems like a nice person.
Oh.
Okay.
I was hoping he'd kick off and I'd be like, yeah, I don't feel bad about giving you this box that could potentially kill you.
Can I follow Oramis up to the bar?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just lean in next to him and just go, what was I supposed to be watching there?
I should have thought about this, but in bumping into him, I could have pickpocketed him, potentially.
What would you do?
Now.
Are you
his house keys. His house keys. No, this is not in character.
At this point, you guys see him sort of look up. So he gets his drink from the barman, and he's now like looking up and looking around a lot, like sort of moving either sides of the bar. Sort of moves past you guys a couple of times to sort of look around as far as he can see from the bar. And with you guys pretty much being some of the only people at the bar, there is another sort of dwarven couple there who are ordering drinks for each other and looking very, very lovey-dovey. And he does sort of ask them, "Oh, have you guys seen someone called Jeffrey Fredericks?" And they're like, "No, sorry, never heard of him." Right, thank you. Moves over to you guys. "Boy, you lot heard of someone called Jeffrey Fredericks? I got a note telling to meet you."
Well, of course I know.
Is he asking?
He's me!
Well, there we go.
Are you still trying to act drunk at this point? Or are you...
Yeah, very drunk, yeah.
Yeah, I'll still take that at 21 performance. So you're sort of like, oh, shit. What, do I know you at all? Why did you bring me here? How do you know where I live? What's going on here?
I don't know how to play this.
Have you told me why we're interacting with this guy, or am I just sort of here?
I think you would know, but not know all of the detail.
Okay.
Yeah, like you would have overheard this crazy guy in Inksworth giving him the box. You might not have heard all of the information, as it was quite a busy street, but you would have heard some of it.
Can I just be like, I've got a little present for you, mate?
What's a present for me? All right. He's just going to roll a really, really quick insight check / investigation, just a sort of general check about you. He's rolled a natural 1. He's too confused at the minute. Like I really don't know this guy. He's almost like half looking at you and half looking over at his buddies in the corner, like trying to catch one of them's eye. He doesn't seem to have caught any of their eyes, but he's sort of looking over. You got a present for me? Is this some kind of joke? What is it?
It's a box, mate.
Seeing that Oramis is losing his way a little bit here, I'm just going to intercede and just say, look, you know what sort of line of work this is. You know you don't ask those sorts of questions. So let's just we'll just do the trade and we'll be gone.
What line of work are we talking? What line of work are we talking about here?
Oramis, what the fuck are we doing here?
Can I just wink him with my Dolus eye? Like a lot.
At that point, his eyes very, very much widen. Oh, and you can see he also has a silver eye, much like you. I see what's... Alright, look, lot of eyes in this place, and, stuff going on. We should go to the alley. There's an alley out back. We can discuss this a little more privately there.
I guess I might as well sober up at this point and be like, why don't I come to your place tomorrow?
Come to my place tomorrow. Why can't we do the deal right here? Isn't this what you called me here for?
Fair point, but, I could do with some extra muscle, maybe a little bit of actual muscle.
Extra.
No,
That's him.
What?
No,
why do you?
I'm joking. Okay, let's go out into the alleyway. Let's have it out in the alleyway. I'll say to him.
Have it out in the alleyway. What the hell is this? What?
I thought you'd done this before. You're supposed to be a seasoned pro.
What the hell have I done?
Not in delivering boxes from a god.
Ben, can I keep a mind sliver just on ice, please?
Yeah, sure. This guy is offended and very, very guarded. But he still seems very, very intrigued to see what you've got for him, and sort of knowing now you as a warlock of Dolus 2, he's like, okay. Let's go out to the alley, and he slowly just sort of reaches around and keeps one hand on his sort of small pick at his side, and you can see the fingers on his other hand are almost sort of twitching and moving. If you look really, really closely, there is almost like he's Oramis, you can definitely tell he is somewhat readying an action for something. To do something.
Can I ready a bonus action? Concealed blade.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
It's like a
allow it.
standoff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's go out into this alleyway.
Yeah. So you make it out into this alleyway. It's pretty narrow. It's maybe like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 feet across. Not very sort of wide at all, but you are able to sort of go out there. In the corner, you see a couple of rats who are like feasting on some old bit of meat, sort of skitter off, and another door around you opens up very, very briefly. It seems to be the kitchen of this place. A guy just sort of throws a bunch of water or something out into the alleyway down to the gutter, and then walks back inside. And he's like, "All right, what is it you wanted to give me? Now, be warned. I've been with Dolus for some time, so you fuck with me. Just be warned."
I don't think you know who you're talking to, mate, to be honest.
Oh no.
I'll get the box out.
Just hand. Yeah?
And I'll hand it to him.
He takes the box with it's a jack in the box. What the?
Can I take a step back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a little.
At this point,
nothing screams trust like you giving him the box and then stepping back.
he sort of looks at it and goes, "After all these years, he's finally given me the blessing I deserve." Places his hand on the crank. He's like, ding, 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 ding. Ding. And as the high note happens, the lid of the box opens, and this silvery snake, the same one, in fact, that Dolus has, reaches out from the box and literally just grabs onto his neck. You can almost see the underside of this thing as a sort of black vein sort of begins sort of like pumping this sort of strange poison into his neck.
Wow.
He tries to pull it off his neck. He moves about, sort of stutters about a minute trying to pull it off. He does fire off an eldritch blast in your direction. It goes completely wide as he's sort of trying in his attempt to sort of be like, what the fuck? He slumps into the and falls into the corner and is dead immediately.
Is the snake still going?
The snake holds onto his neck for just a little bit after he dies, and then it does sort of unclasp off of his neck, curls around on his chest, and looks Oramis sort of dead in the eyes, and nods very sort of briefly before, much like sort of paper taken to a flame, dissipates and just sort of blows off into a brief wind that blows down the alleyway.
Investigate the wound.
Yeah. Roll medicine check.
Oh, what do we do?
Or I mean, depends what you're trying to investigate for it.
I just want to see, like, I don't know. I guess how quickly it's killed him. That probably is medicine.
Yeah. Roll a medicine check. See if you know anything.
He's dead.
Some poison. He's dead. It must have been pretty strong to kill a man, especially a dwarf, who are obviously resistant to poison outright. But yeah, poison. Damn.
Yes, Doc.
Can
I also-
It's so rarely
Yeah.
comes up.
Can I also investigate the wound just to see if I know anything? I won't do a medicine check, just to see if I can get any help there.
Yeah.
Oh, should have done a medicine check.
Probably. So, you're looking at this. Wound. It's pretty clean, actually. Like for a sort of for a snake, for a thing, there are these tiny little holes where these teeth have gone in that are almost sort of, as you're looking at them, very very slowly closing themselves up. Like almost like the wound itself is healing, but you can still see the sort of black veins around his neck of this poison, which is slowly seeping away. Like I said, it must be a damn strong poison. Dolus has this snake, this silvery snake with him at all times, sort of in the imagery of Dolus. That's the snake that sort of wraps around the dagger.
Yeah.
It's the one that you've seen him with before. The fact that it's killed a dwarf, this quick, means that this must have been. This isn't just regular poison. This is like poison of a god.
Quick kill.
Probably.
No mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
grab
like even as
Oramis'
you're sort of investigating it,
sleeve.
as the moments pass.
I'm gonna grab your sleeve and we're gonna get the hell out of here because we're
So,
right
do we
at
just-
the centre
do we
of the
just leave it?
crime scene. Look, I didn't realise we were doing this sort of stuff. I thought you were just doing deliveries. This is a bit heavy.
So did I. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Are you someone's hitman now? Is that how this works?
I'm in pretty deep.
Yeah.
With,
What if one of us
with
is
a god.
next? What if one of us is next? Where's your allegiance lie then?
Well, then we kill the god.
Oh, and that's as easily done as it is said.
We've done it before.
As you say that,
Oh,
you can just
shit.
hear Dolus in your mind. Remember, I'm watching, Oramis.
I've just done your dirty work for you, boss.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here quick.
All right, let's bail. Let's go to the other tavern.
We've just
Well,
paid
shall
for
we?
this one.
We've just kind of been connected to a murder.
Oh, maybe we do need to move him then. Oh, fuck.
You also hear a voice in your head, Oramis, the same sort of voice of Dolus in your head, and it goes, Let this be a lesson for you, Oramis. No one uses the trickster's power to lord over the weak. No one.
In a way, that's quite nice.
You have done well, Oramis. You're proving a very, very important warlock indeed. And the voice fades away.
Pay rise coming my way, guys.
I can make
do
the
you got
body
any
invisible.
spells?
Yeah, I can make the body
How long
invisible. We
for?
could just. Well, long enough to take it up to the room. If that's where we want to take it. I don't know where else we could go.
The
dump it in
dwarf
a river.
body.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't want to do any of this. This is very against what I believe in.
Is there anything in the alleyway? Can I investigate? Is there any like
Yeah, so in the
boxes?
alleyway there are a couple of boxes,
Dustbins.
like really old ones. There is a rather large bin with a lot of weird sort of. It's like paper bags of old food and shit inside. They'd have to clean out, which would make you all mucky. They smell absolutely horrible. But there are a couple of bins, random boxes that some are falling apart, some are just sort of were being used for storage, and they no longer have room to store these boxes, so they're just throwing them out. So there's a couple of things there.
I mean, we could commit arson and
Sorry.
city afire.
There's no we in this, and I'm gonna leave. London's gonna go for a long walk in the nighttime air.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your help.
If I heard that on the way out, I'm just gonna say, look, I don't know what you're doing, but we're killing people. Then they could be innocent for all you know.
I mean, it's not like we've not killed people.
We draw a line, though. We do that for the greater good. Well, that's a dangerous phrase, but we try and do it for a good purpose. This is just bending to the whims of a god, and not a particularly nice one either. So it's your problem, Oramis, and I'm gonna go.
I'm going to leave him, and I'm going to go to a scuzzy part of town to sleep.
Scuzzy part of town to sleep. Well, were you guys to leave and go in similar directions? There are a couple more bars and things. Obviously, this being a dwarven city, there are a lot more sort of ale houses and stuff around. There is the one that you guys missed out on last time, the In and Out Inn. There was also the Bard's Bottle, or the Griffin's Hall Tavern.
What's the
Two other
scuzziest?
places that you happen to notice as you're walking down the lane. Whether you're walking together or separately is up to you guys.
I'm
the group does
going
sound
to
a
a different tavern to Oramis. He has driven a bit of a wedge between us, I think.
Damn. That's rough, buddy.
I'm going to go to the scuzziest, cheapest one, and I'm going to sit there and I'm actually going to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and find out about this guy. As
Try and
Jeffrey
find out about
Fredericks.
this guy. Yeah. Roll persuasion check. Just sort of which place are you going to?
What were they again?
The Bard's Bottle or the Griffin's Hall Tavern?
Let's go to the Bard's Bottle.
The Bard's Bottle, yeah. Roll a general persuasion check to see how sort of talkative and the things you are in and around the town. I think I already know how this is going to go, but figured might as well. Ooh, only 19. So yeah, I mean,
So much bitterness in Ben there.
I mean, it's still a 19. So you're in and around this place talking with a couple of people, and it does seem, by all accounts, he was a pretty decent guy, right up until around the end of the night, where you sort of, this guy overhears you speaking to a girl about Teleros, and he is a little bit drunk, and he does mention a scandal that's recently gone on with Teleros and a couple of other people. There is rumours that he was so in these sort of dwarven mines, you have obviously the regular miners, and then you have a sort of almost like squad leader sort of thing. So you have like a group of miners who work on a certain part, and there is a leader of all of them who sort of organizes them and things like that. And he was one of them, and it turns out there was a little bit of a scandal of him doing some being rather unfavorable when he's angry. And it is, or it was, currently going in sort of trial as to whether he killed someone or not.
Oh, I don't feel bad then.
Down the
Oh, it's still murder.
down the mines. And as you heard from Dolus, he said he seemed to lord over the weak. This guy must have been lording over the weak. So I guess he was a decent guy most of the time, but he did have a temper. That's sort of what you can.
I'm going to call it vigilante justice, and in the interest of speeding the session along, because Matt and JJ are just sitting there, not involved in this, I'll tell Gylndan when we meet up tomorrow that it was justified, and I'll maybe big up the stories that I've heard to make it seem extra justified. But
I'll be in the in and out in Ben.
The in and out in, yeah. So it's 2 gold for a room for both of you, for a night in your respective taverns, and we can finally, sorry that took so long, move on to the other 2 in the group, Mazzy and Dokrumir.
Sorry guys, I didn't know how long that would take.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, sorry, obviously I didn't know you guys were going to be splitting up, so all of that stuff was sort of planned of you guys together and things like that. I do apologise.
No, it's fine. It makes
sense.
It's interesting not being involved in just watching Oramis sweat. Accomplices.
Is there anything you 2 would have done the previous night? Obviously, it's quite a nice evening. Catherine, Mazzy's mother, has prepared yet again quite a nice meal in expecting her daughter home that day, with you guys going out and getting her, and the meal is gorgeous. It is sort of roast pork and very nice sort of breads and wine she's been keeping in the cupboard for ages. It is a really lovely night. You are Doc, you are regaled stories from Mazzy's childhood and Daviak's childhood, especially stories of some stories of her mum trying not to embarrass Mazzy too much, especially stories of Daviak and stuff, and things like that. But she does go on, about them 2 and how they used to fight with sticks outside, and all sorts of stuff like that. Is there anything else you 2 would like to do in the farm that evening, or would you like to just skip to the next morning?
I'm happy to skip.
Yeah, no, I don't think in particular. That's just, people would probably just sort of general learning, and it would be pretty quiet and reserved as the stress slowly builds as the hour draws nearer.
Yeah.
But,
So you can take a long rest, refill. Anyone can refill spell slots and whatever you. Sam, you can roll. You've rolled your.
Someone's failing something tomorrow.
Yeah, and you said you were going to get up very early. How early is very early to head off? Caleb is ready to go with you whenever. He is generally an early bird. Artemisa is also a little bit of an early bird, and she was preparing herself the night before for heading back into Hawksmoor. So how early did you want to head in?
I wasn't thinking like Cracker Sparrow, but
That's a good in name.
I think on the road by 9 or something like that. So we're arriving.
Yeah.
Unless Mazzy has alternative.
Nope.
Yeah.
Up at 8, leave at 9, get there around 11, something like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Role playing it a bit, Ben. So the idea I had at the end of last session, I'm thinking perhaps while I went off yesterday, a bit pissed off at Oramis, I had came up with this plan to get Doc in without going through the checkpoints, and I realised that to communicate that plan to him, I have to be outside to try and find him. So I'm going to head outside the city, and I'm hoping we'll just sort of stay on the main road.
Yeah. Obviously, there is a sort of main road or a collection of main roads. It's called the Fork. Generally, so it's obviously you've got Hawksmoor, which is set into this mountain, and then right in front of Hawksmoor is these like 4 separate main sort of roads that head off. There is in fact a tavern sort of built right in the middle of the Fork called the Forks Tavern, and it is generally obviously so where you can come from, like you can see on the map. So it's where people from Carty come from, Swandiff, Inksworth, the road you guys came from, and a road sort of heading from the north down. You'd obviously meet at the Fork and then go down the south road. So yeah, you can chill out there for the morning, and you can all make. I mean, are you actively trying to find them? I've
gone out on Shikara, and I'm.
Part
of the road trying to find them.
Bit hard to miss you, elephant.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully make it as bit as possible, but not like I'm far enough away from the city gates that we're not like having this. We're not going to have this conversation in hearing of the guards or whatever. But you can still see that there's no chance that they've come from a different way or whatever. I'm still on the main route.
Knowing the road you came in. Yeah, makes sense. Hard to miss a guy on an elephant. So. Obviously, this next morning, Mazzy, I will also remind you, of a ranger conclave in the area that would take you about an hour to get to, but it is in somewhat the direction of Hawksmoor. It would put you about half an hour to an hour's out of the way to get to if you wanted to buy some more magic arrows, see what they've got.
I will definitely be going.
Or you can go in to see if there's anything in the magic shops and stuff.
Well, I was going to do that when I get into the town, but if you're saying that there's definitely a place outside that's technically en route, then I'll do that.
So you can go in. It's quite a nice building. Again, sort of it's a wooden building set into a large cave. It seems these guys are quite professional archers and rangers and stuff, mostly dwarves. As you sort of approach this way, it's now been about an hour on the road. You're allowed in. They see you have a bow, and they make sort of kind, sort of quite nice gestures. You might even recognise a couple of people from in and around the area, old soldiers of the area turned.
I think I should probably recognise the owner of the shop and things like that.
Yeah, you might, especially with the connections to your father and stuff, and his affinity for archery and things like that. You might recognise him as one of your dad's old companions. Sort of owner, and he sat there. Oh, there's a face I haven't seen for a while. Mazzy, what can I get for you?
Hello, my friend. I'm in need of some very special arrows. I was wondering if you could help me. I'm looking for some frost arrows, seismic arrows, and misty arrows.
Frost arrows, seismic arrows, and misty arrows. Well, unfortunately, we don't have anything in terms of the frost arrows, I'm afraid. They were used on our last little thing against all these demons that have been flying around. So unfortunately, we're out of those. But we do have men making them. We'll have a couple ready in maybe a couple of days. We do, however, have 1 or 2 misty arrows available. I think he says in the end he has about 3, and he's rather excited about the seismic arrows. He loves the big boom.
I do indeed.
He does have a couple of those. He also tells you that he has something called an ensnaring arrow and an acid arrow.
Ooh. Could I ask him what these do?
Absolutely horrific.
So
all this ranger talk is just like significantly over Doc's lowered head height.
So ensnaring arrows basically, so on a hit, the person has to make a strength saving throw. On a pass, their movement speed is halved for their turn, but on a fail, they are restrained. So their speed becomes 0. They make attacks with disadvantage, and attacks against them have advantage. They also have disadvantage on dex saving throws. As sort of within this thing he tells you the tip of the arrow is a sort of very, very old druidic root that sort of when on impact with something, on quite hard impact with something, sort of spins out into this sort of entangling vine.
I'm also going to light up my pipe while I'm waiting outside then. So I'm just going to make a quick
Nice.
con save for that.
I bet not be any more of that black spice or whatever it's called.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was DC 10, so you pass.
Sweet.
So you're good on that front. You're chilling out. And the acid arrow is essentially the second level spell, Melf's acid arrow. So on a hit, the arrow deals 4d4 acid damage, and at the end of their next turn, it deals 2d4 acid damage, and then it stops.
Okay. So I assume these are arrows that when I run out, I can just get a different set. So as I'm now out of frost arrows, I feel I should swap this. Forgot the name of it. Sorry, for the first one you said.
The ensnaring arrow.
Ensnaring arrow. Can I? How many of those do you have? I know the guy's name, right?
Yeah, you do. His name is Samuel.
Samuel.
A rather nice guy. Tall, blonde, blue eyes. You know.
Sounds very familiar.
No, he is quite tall, but he has a little bit of a gut on him, and you can tell he cares quite a lot about his hair, even though it's very, very clearly going grey, and sort of old and knotted and stuff. So they are 20 gold pieces per arrow, and he has 4 of them.
Okay.
So you can spend 80 gold pieces on 4 ensnaring arrows to potentially help you in a time of need.
You're going to be a walking investment, Mazzy.
Whenever I want to buy these are prime. Right, so...
I can't wait for you to use this to kill like a tiny spider in the corner.
Can I have 2 of those, please?
Uh-huh.
And to you, Ben, could I ask you to put the description of that in my...
Yes, yes, I'm just writing that up now. Just give me 1 second. Where did I just write it? Oh, it disappeared. That's fun.
Would it be possible also to add it as separate to the frost arrows, right? So if I get more frost arrows, you don't have to rewrite that.
Yeah. I'll write that up in the break.
Fine.
But yeah, I've got it written down here. What they do.
Condition on them.
Essentially, yeah. It's like the spell entangle, but not in a radius of an area. And he does have to hit them with an arrow, like hit them with the arrow before. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so you can buy 2 of those for what was it, 40 gold? That would be.
Now with 40 gold. So how many of the misty and seismic arrows do you have?
So misty arrows, he has 3, and they are 30 gold apiece.
Oh, they're expensive.
Seismic, he also has 3, and
See if he does a 2-for-1 map.
And they are.
Throw your ball in.
I have put some of my money away for somewhere else.
Okay.
So I don't have it on me.
But yeah, the seismic arrows are 25 gold apiece.
He doesn't want to get that in front of him, does he?
It's a security measure.
So I bought 2 of the new arrows. I think I'm going to go for another 2 of everything. So 2 misty, 2 seismic, and 2
ensnaring. Yeah, and
good friend. You know how we are. We have gone way back. How do you have a deal you can give me? I fucked that up really badly.
Roll. I'll say because you know him. Roll persuasion with advantage.
I don't know, for that line, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that cancels any advantage.
No. I haven't minded any persuasion, but
Well, it's literally
Advantage 13. He says, "All right, I'll knock off.
wait, how much I'm actually spending here?
So
Two.
So 2 Misty, which are 30, that's 60.
16.
2 Ensnaring, which are 20, that's 40, so it's 100 so far.
Mm.
And then 2 Seismic, which are 25, so that's 150 gold altogether.
150.
he's paid me.
What?
Uh,
How about
he says
This
he'll
says
do
he
it for
pays-
he'll do it for
yeah.
130.
130? Oh, 120?
I have a business. I have a business to run here. It's
I understand. You're a good friend. I do 130. That's fine.
130. Yep.
130.
So add what arrows you
I
need.
don't like it. Just for you, my friend.
Add what arrows you need, and you get back on the road.
Lou.
Unless there's anything anyone else would like to do in this Rangers conclave. Otherwise, we can head on. Yeah, so you head on the road once again and make it to Hawksmoor's gates about maybe 11, half 11.
Doc! Mazzy!
What?
It's me, Gylndan!
On the road,
I'm
on the
on my
road,
elephant,
you do see Gylndan, and as you're shouting towards sort of Doc and Mazzy and things, Chikara's eyes light up. Like, "Woo!" You can just hear this very, very loud elephant's sort of trunk. I don't even know what you'd call that, roar or whatever. Toot. I don't know. And your eyes are
Trumpet.
immediately... Yeah, trumpet. And your eyes are immediately taken over to the wizard on an elephant. Over by the fork. Just at the end of the main road.
What are you guys doing? I don't know why this is
Well, we're
such a
coming to
wooden
find you.
conversation.
Where be our good friend Oramis?
About that. He,
Okay, where's our companion Oramis?
we got into a tricky situation yesterday. It was some Dolus related stuff. Basically, he's doing hits for Dolus, and I don't feel comfortable being part of that. So we've gone separate ways for a little bit. But that's not why I'm out here.
way. Go your own
When you say separate ways,
way.
is he leaving our party?
Oh no, I'll see him again in a bit. He's key to the plan, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd leave him to stew in whatever hovel he's crawled into. But yes, that was the other thing. So, in my moment of sadness at being part of such a vile act, I've come up with what I believe is a good plan. Basically, Doc, are we calling you Doc, or are we calling you something else? Will anyone know you by Doc?
I mean, it's not an uncommon name. But...
Jeremy Buttons it is for you then. Right, Jeremy.
Jeremy Buttons!
Jeremy
You
Buttons.
just see Doc just start rubbing his temples. So.
We shouldn't joke about that really, because we were like 5 feet away from a mass murderer.
But Jeremy, call me Angus. Angus is a nice
Angus? Okay, that's nice, easy to remember. Okay, Angus.
Oh,
But it's Oramis and I got here yesterday, Angus, and there's no way you're getting in. Even with the preparations we've taken, there's no way you're getting in.
Yeah, at this point, I probably also would have donned a disguise getting this close to the city.
What? Oh, like one of the face
thingies.
thingies.
sorry guys, my laptop's about
Yeah.
to die. I need to go get my charger. So
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, that's in-game world. That's Mazzy going for a slash. Midway through my plan, that's very rude, but
I've been on the road for so long.
Well, before you get a big queue, you just got to nip for a wee.
Yeah. But yes, you were discussing the plan.
yeah. So I think we use the bracelets to swap locations, and one of us goes in the city, and we get you in like that, and then that person can get in again. The only issue I haven't quite overcome is you have to sign in. So I'm thinking we get someone like our good friend Oramis, who's very good at charming his way through situations. So I think you and Oramis swap.
Sign out. Presumably, you sign out.
You don't have to sign out. No. You just sort
to
of
say you come in.
You just you just.
Oh,
sort
it's
of
fine then. Then we don't. That's not an issue then. Because if they
What
don't
was
track people,
what did I miss?
I've just said about my plan to swap with the braces.
But did you take the one off Oramis?
No, so he's got it. So I've got to go find him. But I know the sort of locations he will be in.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too hard. I imagine he's not even awake. What is it? 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's about like 11:30 now. Yeah, maybe nearing lunchtime, nearing 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to give mine to Doc.
Guys, yeah. So basically, Matt, what we found out, Ben said they don't. You got to sign in, but they don't track you leaving. So it doesn't matter if someone goes in twice because they won't have tracked them leaving.
Cool. So Oramis can come in twice.
I think it will still do Oramis because he can charm his way through a lot of situations. But
also, Oramis hasn't even entered the city, has he? So
no.
No.
I'm not sure what the range is. We got these items magically examined, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Would he have given like a rough range on the?
He gave you a rough sort of range of about a kilometer.
Okay.
About a kilometer.
If you guys come a bit closer to the city, how obvious is it? Quite subtle magic, or is there like a like Misty? It's like a Misty Step, for example. I don't think Misty Step's very subtle at all.
No, yeah, Misty Step is you effectively just puffing into smoke.
Yeah, is there something like that with this, or is it just pretty?
You used it in the tent, and there was a brief sort of flash as you do swap, this sort of bright blue flash that you think would be obvious to anyone looking around. Yeah.
So you need to be somewhere concealed, really. Okay, right. I'm
sort of visually like fidgety and anxious and everything. It's just sort of really like apprehensive and nervous, and just sort of like, I don't know if this is worth the risk. Like maybe you can get someone else to help you or something.
Can I put a hand on his shoulder and just say this will work? Trust me. I wouldn't let you do it if I didn't think it would work. And we need you, Doc. We need you.
Yeah.
Scary.
I like my head attached to my desk.
I appreciate that, and we'll do everything we can to make sure it stays that way. Trust me. And if that's all, I'm going to go find our little assassin friend, our little thug for hire.
Yep. So you can you can head back into the city. Going back into the city, the checks are done again. This time with a obviously different guy to yesterday. He does almost recognize you. He's like, I know you from somewhere. I've seen your face. It's the staff and the elephants giving it away. Were you in Inksworth?
I've visited Inksworth. I'm a travelling man. I've been in lots of places.
Maybe. I was there recently. It was statues. You're one of them guys.
Yeah. Shh, keep it down low. I don't like the publicity.
Protectors. No.
Guardians, but sir, please keep it on the low down.
Oh, yeah,
I don't like that sort of attention.
Sorry. Yeah. Well. You can go on through. And he sort of looks over to the guy who would be sort of checking you out. He's like, one of the Guardians. And the guy's like, oh shit! Oh my God! Come over here. So let me check out my kids. Love you guys. Personally, my son always likes the dwarven one. Where he said, what's he actually like? He looks a bit serious.
He is serious, but he's reliable. Trust him with my life.
Okay. This guy does a very sort of basic check on you. He sort of pats you down very, very briefly, makes sure your clothes and stuff are okay. Puts a sort of slight hand to the side of your face and stuff like that. Nothing as rigorous as the day before, but still, like sort of does sort of very, very briefly put a hand to your sort of sorry. I hate to do this myself, but he does put a hand to your forehead, hand to your sort of cheekbones, hand to your chin or your beard, and then that's it. He lets you in, and you're back in the city of Hawksmoor. Where are you going to go find Oramis? How do you plan on finding him?
Scummy Tavern. Would I know which one's the scummy? Do I have to ask around a little bit?
There is a somewhat scummy part of town.
Yeah. Well, you said
there are
Scuzzy, Luke, didn't you?
I said Scuzzy.
Scuzzy. Yeah. Scuzzy, not scummy. There is a difference.
Yeah.
There is a somewhat scuzzy part of town, which you can have a look for him in. You can make me an investigation check.
While
Yes.
Gylndan is doing that, should Mazzy and I go and look for a secluded spot?
Should we try and find somewhere? I assume there's are there walls around the city?
Yes, obviously there's
Yeah,
the.
Yeah, we'll go
close,
really close to a wall that's unguarded.
Around the city and try and find a spot that's hidden from you. So maybe there's if there's some trees or something, and then I'll send a message to Gylndan telling the we're 400 meters outside of the north wall.
Yeah, make me a perception check, and also roll one for Artemisa as well. I don't get who does it, but
you all have to do a perception check, yeah.
Mazzy, Doc, and Artemisa. Now mine, Doc's pretty on the ball. So after sort of looking around, most of you are on the ball.
Artemisa.
Yeah, so you two are fairly sort of Mazzy's a little bit sort of caught up in the sort of spectacle of
it's close to home.
Yeah. Whereas Doc and Artemisa are a bit more apprehensive of the situation. They look around, and so obviously there's this main gate, and then there are the two smaller side gates. So you decide, okay, well, we better go to one of the smaller ones. And as you head round to the side of one of the smaller ones, there is a bit more vegetation there. There is a shaded spot. There are a couple of quite nice and quite old sort of trees around the northern small gate. It's secluded enough. You can maybe assume. Some people are walking in and out. Some people are sat there waiting for people, whether to go into the city or waiting for them to come out. But it's sort of like a quiet part of a park, in between a couple of trees and things like that. So Gylndan, yes, with your 19 investigation, you're able to look around the place, find this rather scuzzy part of town, and you can overhear someone talking about some half-elf they bumped into the night before, talking about some Teleros guy, where the hell's he come from, able to ask them where he is, and you find the tavern in which he is in. And now we're going to move over to Oramis, because Oramis, a new day has dawned.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh,
If you remember
no.
the day before,
I completely
you came into contact with something rather bad. Okay.
That's not good.
What's your max HP? What is your current max HP?
71.
71. Well, you can reset your current hit points to 71. Obviously, it's a new day.
Thanks.
But can you now roll me 2d6?
Oh, okay. Oh,
that's pretty high.
Were you using your magic dice?
And can you take that now off of your max HP?
Oh,
Is that damage, or is that a reduction in max HP?
reduction.
That is a reduction in max HP.
That's
11.
huge. That's so huge.
Oh,
And
Welcome to the wizard realms, my friend of health.
and
Do it again.
can you add 1 point of exhaustion onto yourself as well?
Oh no!
As you've woken up,
Bitch.
you've woken up this next morning, and you are in a rough way.
Drink last night.
You are in a rough way. You wake up, your head is pounding, your stomach feels a little weird, your arms and hands feel a little... Just generally, you feel rather itchy, which is kind of strange. And as you get up, the room and the room you're in has this. You're in a bit of a scuzzy bar. The room you're in does have a mirror, though it's not the best one ever. But as you sort of wake up and gather yourself and look in it, you can see the skin on the side of your face where the rock touched you is flaking, sort of almost turning to like, like when sand gets really wet and then starts to dry out. You've got those sort of little sort of cracks and stuff. That's sort of what your skin is starting to look like on the side of your face.
Jesus.
You are not in a very good way today.
Karma.
What would you like to do? You can obviously head downstairs and stuff. Most people don't really know what the rot is. I mean, you guys didn't. Doc had to make a check for it, so unless there were any sort of medical professionals around, they probably wouldn't know what it is. What would you like to do?
I've just seen my face is proper messed up. And I feel like shit. I'm going to get back to bed. And I'm going to curl up. I'm going to cocoon myself in my blankets.
Sounds good. Gylndan, you enter the tavern where he is, and if you would like, you can ask the sort of patron of the tavern, who is cleaning up after last night's mess still, what's where
Half-elf,
potentially
this high,
Oramis is.
quite handsome. Don't tell him that though, it goes to his head. Hit Gobby.
Yeah, he bought a room upstairs. Are you a friend?
You could say that. Cheers, mate. And I had
All right. Room 12 upstairs. And you head upstairs into this room, and you knock on the door. It's obviously locked. I'm assuming you would lock the door, Oramis. I mean, you don't have to, but yeah. So it's so you Oramis, you can hear a knock on the door. Maybe Gylndan would say something. I don't know.
Oramis. Sound like your mum. Oramis, it's time to go.
I don't feel like it. I'm it. I don't feel like getting up.
Come on, mate. I'm sorry about yesterday. I still don't approve of what you did, but I shouldn't have just left you there to deal with it by yourself.
No, you really shouldn't have. That's very unkind. He actually did deserve it. He was a douchebag. But I feel like shit.
Do you want to let me in?
Okay. And I'm gonna crawl.
Crawl to the thing. You let him in. Gylndan opens the door. And yeah, you can see this sort of thing on his face. He doesn't feel, or he doesn't look, in a very good way. His skin is a little paler. He's got that sort of cracked look to his skin.
You look like hell, mate.
I know. This is more than just a hangover. I don't know what's happened to me.
Are you well enough to move? Yesterday when I was annoyed with you, I came up with a plan to get Doc in here. Are you up to that?
Oh, what does it involve?
You switching places with him using the bracer, and then getting back into Hawksmoor.
Okay, fine. You owe me one.
It's probably around this point that you've had the sending spell from Doc saying, "Oh yeah, we found a somewhat decent place to switch."
Okay. How far away is this inn? I'm guessing it's quite far in.
This inn is pretty far into the city. You'd need to get a little bit closer. A fair bit closer. A couple of streets down.
Okay. We need to Oramis and get close enough so we can actually do the switch. And I'll offer him sort of a supportive shoulder. Let's go.
Supportive shoulder?
No, what do I mean? Like, how bad is he? Can he walk?
Yeah, he can walk.
I'm being hella dramatic.
He's just being a bit dramatic.
You fool. Get up, you fool.
Offering you a shoulder. So you're touching him, right?
No. I thought he was terrible, but if he's acting, I'm not going to...
I'm pretty rough. I've got like... I'm imagining this is like, I've got like
being
a flu.
Being a sort of scholar...
or like a cold, a bad cold.
Yeah, being a scholar, I'm not going to touch him because I'm aware that these sorts of things can spread. Whatever it is, even if it's a cold, I don't want it.
So it's a really bad cold though. It's not quite flu or COVID, but it's a really bad cold.
Okay. Right. Well, I think once we've done this, we maybe get you to a specialist. Maybe have Doc have a look at you.
Yeah. So you can get up. You head out into the streets. Walk down a couple of streets. So you're somewhat in the. You can see the wall from where you are. There's this long sort of road that leads down. You can see the side gate from where they have hidden. So you think if Doc said he was just outside there, you can make an assumption that you're within about a kilometre.
Okay. We need to find somewhere somewhat sheltered, like a little side alley or something like that, just to do this switch real quick.
Yeah.
Don't need any eyes on us.
Make a perception check. The both of you. But Luke, I believe.
Disadvantage.
Arrange someone to meet you and Artemisia inside, because obviously I'm the BAMF.
Well, I assume Oramis will know where.
Yeah, if I'm going with
where they are,
I'll know where.
Yeah.
landed.
Oramis, if I meet you at the what was that pub called? The Inn and Out Inn.
The Inn and Out Inn
that you went to.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. And no disrespect to where you stayed, but it was absolutely stank.
Yeah, Oramis.
Good cover for shady work.
You can see this small little alleyway just off the side of the thing. It seems yet again like sort of the back of a cafe sort of place.
No dead bodies there, are there?
No dead bodies. No. A couple of bins. Nothing really fancy. Again, it's quite narrow. This one's even more narrow than the last one. This one's only about 5 foot wide. So it is a bit of a squeeze to get in far enough where you think, okay, people probably won't see us here. This isn't dodgy at all. And what would you like to do now?
I think go for Oramis.
I guess we wait for the signal.
Well, I've had a signal, so just try it. Just see
okay.
If you can.
Did you say there were bins in here?
There were bins in here, yeah.
Can I climb on top of one of the bins?
Yeah. Yeah.
And can I balance very, very delicately on the edge of one of these bins? Because it's very important that Doc is not seen, so it's probably better if he kind of...
Might as well just get in.
Well, I don't want to get myself
first.
Make me an acrobatics check.
You betcha.
But with disadvantage because you have 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh.
13. You're able to get sort of on one. Like you think, okay, yeah, this probably would be kind of difficult. It's like your heels are on the edge of the bin, and your other arm is just like your finger of your other arm is just sort of holding you up. It's nothing amazingly acrobatic, but it's something.
That is exactly what I wanted.
Excellent.
And I'm now gonna press send on the old text.
You tap the bracelet. Dock outside the city. You feel this almost vibration. It's a weird sensation through your arm, sort of stemming from this bracelet. do you give it the old tap?
Yeah, I was thinking just have a quick glance around, see as long as there's no one obviously in sight, and then say, "See you in a minute."
Hello?
And just tap it.
Yep. You tap, and in this bright flash of light, Gylndan, before you appears Dokrumir, and Doc, can you make me a dex save? As you have 13 to beat, essentially.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're fine. So you appear. So your heels on the edge of this bin. You're like, I managed to just sort of catch yourself on the other wall, and then you sort of very, very quickly after lower yourself down before you do trip. But you are now in the alley. You are in Hawksmoor. Congratulations. Oramis.
Welcome home, Doc.
You flash, and you are now in some strange wooded area. Mazzy looking at you a little, whatever he is, and Artemis just, I was kind of hoping the wizard would be switching. Oh well, you'll do. Hi, Oramis.
Hey, Artie. Hey, Mazzy.
Hey,
not a fan of Artie.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Artie. Should we go? Get all this stuff sorted out. Caleb is also sort of sat a little ways away. He's very, very careful about being caught, especially given his position in Hawksmoor. So he almost sees it from the corner of his eye. Like, come on, we should get inside. Come on, let's go. Hi, Oramis.
Hello, friend.
And you're able to go through. Same as the day before. So obviously Artemisa goes through. They're somewhat a little bit nicer to dwarves, but at the same time they do have to make sure these checks are regulated and done. As you guys are going through, from the other way, you see one of these Duragar, these grey-skinned dwarves, arrested and being taken out of the city, and he's screaming something in Dwarvish. I don't believe any of you other than Artemisa speaks Dwarvish, but he's screaming something in Dwarvish.
Ooh.
Very, very. Oh, you do, yeah. So you can hear him. You can hear him just shouting and screaming, sort of blasphemies and all this stuff, and something about Kothar will eat your head. Random shit like that. But this guy is taken out of the city, and just as he's sort of passing you, he manages to break free of his grasp on this guy, at which point, as a sort of reaction, another one, immediately seeing this, just pulls out his axe, chops him down, just chop into his chest, bang, onto the floor, no quarters. This guy was being kicked out, and they just, no, you guys are crazy, we're not having anything to do with this. His body's then dragged away, and you're all able to get into the city. You are checked over, able to get in, and we can skip a little bit ahead to you guys meeting up in the In-N-Out Inn. You walk into the inn, it's quite a nice day, they're all serving lunch and stuff. This is a bit more of a gastro-pub sort of thing, so, restaurant in the day, pub in the evening. So you're able to sit down, and you can all say hi to each other. Anything you would like to do at this point?
Hello.
What's my reaction upon seeing Oramis?
Yes.
I remember you made a pretty high medicine check. Make me another medicine check. I'll say with advantage, because I'm pretty sure you rolled something like a 23 to recognise the rot before. So I'll say you can make this one with advantage. Yeah, so 19.
Doc's just there like...
You're looking at him, and you know these are the first stages. So obviously the rot is what it says it is. So it rots away you and turns you into the sort of grey fungal matter, essentially, that will eat away essentially at you to turn itself into fauna and fungi and all this stuff. And his skin starting to do this is like he's definitely got the rot.
Okay.
If this keeps on going, things could get bad.
So I'm going to immediately. I'm assuming like Gylndan and I are like at a table waiting for them to arrive. I guess it's the like classic like double take, like see him walking in and it's like, oh shit! Stand up and be like, no, Oramis, stand over there now.
Why you been such an asshole, man?
You have the dot on your face.
Oh, I gotta jump back when I hear Doc say that.
Just like,
No, thank you.
Oh god.
we need to deal with this.
Oh god, please no. I'm
Okay,
too
is this in your
beautiful
realm?
to die. I'm too beautiful to die.
Calm the fuck down.
Is this within your realm, Doc? Because we don't want this kind of heat if we have to take him somewhere. There'll be a lot of questions.
I have.
Oramis is silently sobbing.
With that 19, you know that it will take something along the lines of greater restoration at this stage, or it would be a few days casting lesser restoration on him every day to essentially ease the effects over time. So it's about three, like at the stage he's at, it's about 3 days every morning, lesser restoration. So the first one would get rid of the luck, the second one would restore his exhaustion, and then the final one would restore his hit points. Every day after that, it's obviously worse. So every day after that, it's an extra 2 days. So if you left him till tomorrow, it would be 5 days, because that's restoring the first set of exhaustion, restoring the first set of lost hit points, restoring the second set, restoring the second exhaustion, and then the look on his face.
Yes, potentially. How infectious is this? Like,
Pretty bad. How many people have touched your face, Aramis?
No one. I didn't kiss
Not
anyone.
all them ladies who are kissing.
not that guard that was specifically examining faces.
Oh.
I doesn't know this, but
No, one person has touched my face.
Been twice.
If they
Been
failed a con,
Twice.
if they failed a con save, which I did roll, they have the rot. They're in early stages of rotdom.
I can't cure this now. I don't have the things I need prepared.
Oh god.
This,
Oh no.
we can't. This can't be covered up. This has to be.
I'm never gonna see the boat again.
This has to be dealt with officially. If this goes unchecked, this could destroy the city.
I don't want to die surrounded by dwarves, no offense.
You have to find the guards that. Do you think you'd recognise them, Oramis? The guards you met when you came in both times?
I never forget a face.
Ben, it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same guard that did you yesterday as it was today.
Okay.
Oh no, so he could have easily gone around and touched other people. And
Did I go through first, or did Luke go through first, or did we go through separate guards?
I think you went through first, if I remember
believe, yeah, you went through first, and then Oramis did, because you had to have the elephant.
would this-
I hate this.
would this be infectious ever since he got it right at the start? So are we actually checking for? Have we touched on
No.
this since?
So Doc could probably tell you that now it is bad.
Okay, so the guy who we assume has got it, won't be spreading it yet.
Okay, so
Not yet.
we've got a tiny
Potentially.
window.
So I can.
Depending on whether they pass the save or not.
I can potentially do something about a little bit of this, and just so he's not as infectious, and clean up his face a bit. But this is going to be a big official grumpy. we're going to need to find a temple or a hospital or something.
Do you know
So-
anywhere you would hold some swing to perhaps keep this under wraps?
I hold.
He's been
no
kicked
sway
out.
anywhere.
Oh dear.
He's not allowed to see anyone.
Do I propose we go back to my farm?
Do you
And we might have like a barn or something that we can vacate everything and just say quarantine area.
Yeah, but like, what about everyone else that I've touched, or that's touched me? And that
Yeah,
they've
it's not so
touched
much.
and-
We can contain Oramis, and if Doc's healing him, that's okay. It's these other people, these 2 guards that he's been through. If they've got it, then it could spread so far. Oh god, it's like COVID, Ben. Why have you done this? We've lived it, man. We don't want to live it again in our fantasy realm.
I did say.
I know,
way back
it's
when.
good. It's good. It's good. It's
So-
a real problem.
So yeah, obviously, were they infected and feeling as bad as Doc? Doc, you would know that they would probably be in an infirmary by now, probably. If they're anything as bad as Oramis, that is.
What, the guards?
Otherwise, the guards, yeah.
Not the one from today, surely the one from yesterday.
Well, Oramis contracted his yesterday, didn't he?
No,
Yeah, so the one who
No, it's the day before.
touched him yesterday.
Yeah, he got it yesterday, and so
Yeah.
passed it on to a guard. Yes, potentially passed it on to a guard yesterday. So
And he's passed it on to one today, but he might not have the symptoms yet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, given you guys have only just arrived.
Oh no! I've just realised, guys.
What?
All those guards have been touching everyone's face that have gone into the city.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have been spreading it as soon as they touched you.
Yeah, but the one that touched me yesterday, if he's been working today,
Yeah, there you go.
If he's tried to be brave and work through a bit of a flu, then yeah.
Let's just leave. Let's leave this city.
No. Why are we here? In all the sort of panic, I've sort of lost. Why are we here again?
Caleb,
We're trying to find out
sort
some
of,
stuff about
things
the
up.
orb.
The Great Library and the Underdark and stuff. Well, not Great Library,
Okay,
the
I mean-
Dwarven Library, the slightly less Great Library.
That's also a very big problem. I know the rot we've caused is a huge problem, but that we can't leave that. As much as I think, I don't know.
We need to find someone now. I will cast Lesser Restoration now on Oramis.
Yep.
So that his face no longer looks like garbage.
Appears as scaled, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely... it almost looks like Oramis has been cut a lot of times in the face now, but
Oh.
like months ago. So it's almost like healing or healed scars, almost. But Doc can tell you that will go away in time.
Oh, thank you.
That is just the almost cracked nature pulling itself back into your face. The skin rehydrating itself and
As long as we get you healed,
flittering.
that will clear up in time. But we need to go now.
So are we getting Oramis to a temple?
Yeah,
And then
either
we're gonna have to-
temple or the college where Artemisia and I were trained. That's
Which do you
I
think is safer?
That temple, well, for me, a temple. I'm less likely to be recognised. That.
Yeah.
And then once we've done that, I think we need to somehow get it in the right channels that this could be the rot, because then people will start dealing with it. I don't think we can combat it, just the 6 of us.
No, that's why I'm
Just
trying
the
to get it
6 of us.
dealt with here and now.
Just say maybe like one of the patrols that's been into the mountains has come back, and we've heard they might have the rot or something. So
I
Yeah.
think it's full bore honesty.
it's for what? Sorry.
Full bore honesty. Yeah, it's explain where Oramis was.
How are you going to explain that one then?
We were on a mission for.
Well, that was the only legal bit.
For
Did you-
Captain. What's his face?
Dryden.
Dryden, yeah.
For Captain Dryden. You
Droyston.
Probably,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
contracted a rot in the tower.
what I'm really getting at is, do you want that heat?
Well, he doesn't have to come. He doesn't have to be with us, does he?
True.
Yep.
But I think that's the best idea, Doc.
I mean,
I think
your condition will act a little bit like smoke and mirrors. They will be much more focused on you than on me.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Let's go. Oramis, don't
Yep.
touch anything.
Don't touch anything. Don't touch anyone.
Touched
Yeah.
Oramis.
So
No one has touched Oramis recently, have they?
Not in a long time.
Right. Serious situation.
Yeah. So you're able to get up, get out, head over on to a temple of Apollo. It is a decently sized temple. It's not the sort of biggest place there is. You can even see the Temple of Mars sort of as you're on your way. This place does have quite a nice spire. It's almost a sort of circular building that almost is tiered up and up and up into this nice sort of cascading, quite beautiful building. And each sort of tier, there's different rooms and levels for people to either be praying in or to be healed at or whatever. As you head in, you are greeted by a dwarf wearing a similar garb to Doc, this sort of almost doctor's coat-esque thing with some armor over the top. And then he's like, hello there. How may I help you today? What seems to be the problem?
Is this area that we're in at the moment?
The area you're in at the moment, so you're in the doorway to the temple, and outside the temple there is a somewhat decently sized sort of square where there's a little bit of a fountain and a couple of shops around the outside.
I'll say, have you got a private chamber we can talk in?
Oh, yes, of course. We are obviously able to deal with private matters. Yes, come this way with me. And he takes you inside the temple, up a set of stairs, so you're on the second level of this tiered temple, and he takes you into this room. Unfortunately, this room isn't overly private in that it is just like a bit like a sort of a hospital. It is a sort of curtain that separates the room, but you do have two walls either side of you, a wall at the back with a very big window and a curtain that acts sort of like a door, and the wall on the other side. How may I help you all today?
Well, it is my companion here. We were. Well, I will pre-warn you now. I believe it to be the rot. We were up in the mountains yesterday on a mission for Captain Droyston. And
Captain
while
Troyston.
we believed everyone got out unscathed, it would appear that my companion had some contact with the disease that was throughout the tower up there.
Can I give a little groan for effect? Oh.
I have done
Lord,
a little bit for you this morning, but I do not have the
Facilities for that, big man.
do not have the thing. What's a non-meta way of saying I don't have the spell Greater Restoration prepared today?
They have the skills.
Well, as a cleric, you do have to prepare spells every day, so you could just say, as a cleric, I don't have the spell prepared.
Fair enough.
Or I don't.
I unfortunately don't have it prepared at the moment.
Yeah. So I was like, the rot has not been seen in many years. It is good that you came straight here. You have come straight here, have you not? What were the symptoms this morning as well? How far along is he?
Less than a day, about a day, I believe.
About a day.
Did not come straight here.
Was his skin parched, almost like cracked?
Yes,
this
I did a
morning?
little bit for I did what I could for him this morning, but I know it's not
Excellent.
enough. And
Excellent. All right. Well, this is good news. We fortunately have had another man in with a similar condition this morning. Unfortunately, to heal this sort of thing requires obviously the spell you would probably know as Greater Restoration, and for that we do need a rather large diamond or something of a gold equivalent.
How much?
It is. We need the dust of a diamond to spread over the area, worth maybe in the range of 100 gold, and we will need time. We will need time to prepare you, heal you, make sure the thing. It shouldn't be a couple of hours, but unfortunately, the gold cost is a rather big benefit, and we ourselves are stretched thin for staff, so it will have to be our only cleric on staff. I'm only a priest, I'm afraid. But
can I slam down 100 gold and say, "Heal me, bitch"? Not the bitch. Just heal me. Just shout, "Heal me!" Yeah.
Yes. I will go speak with the cleric, see when he is free, and we can have this matter sorted. This, I must ask, and you must be honest, is there anyone else who you may have come in contact with during this time?
well,
Very possibly.
my companion arrived in the city last night, so there would have been the guards on duty at that point, and
Yes.
also, I arrived this morning and they came to meet me, so a couple of us arrived this morning, so they came to meet us outside and lead us in to where they were staying, so there would have been another set of guards then.
I see. Okay.
Is the other man you've had in?
I'll tell whatever gate was, the small and northern gate.
Yeah.
Is the other man you've had in a guardsman?
Yes.
I want to call you father. I don't know why.
Yes.
Daddy.
This is strangely good news, as the other man we have in is one of the gatesmen. He is not in a very good way at all, unfortunately.
It depends who he's touched on duty, then, as to the extent this could be. I think.
Fortunately, yesterday, obviously, before the symptoms got worse, you are not as contractable. From what little I know of the rot, I believe it would take. It is until the symptoms start appearing before you officially have the rot, the fungus growing upon you, and therefore can be touched. But this other guard, we need to find him right away.
Yes, my understanding is it's the fungal matter itself that is the transmission point.
Yes, which obviously grows on the skin. Yes, so we have quarantined this man. I will see to it that the cleric on staff knows what his condition is. Obviously, the rot hasn't been seen here in hundreds of years, but we do learn about it briefly in our teachings. I know that the spell Greater Restoration was offered for this man, but unfortunately he did not have the bills to pay the gold to pay for such a treatment.
Look at Doc and say, "Can we take out the party fund?"
We will cover
Are you joking?
That is very, very kind of you. I will have a messenger down the. I will have a messenger with this money sent down the shops immediately to gather the diamond dust, and we can begin the procedures. For now, someone has to alert the guard on duty and bring him back here immediately. Immediately. If we're lucky, hopefully, as of now, he will only need a lesser restoration cast on him, and he will be perfectly fine. But yes, this matter must be dealt with now.
Is that one of us who wants to go?
Preferably, it's quite a busy day at the minute.
Can I look at Mazzy and say,
Well,
perhaps you should go
I can
while
go,
also
but
looking at Doc.
I'm thinking-
Go with them.
Glyndon, would you know who? Would you recognise?
No, I didn't go through this morning, so I wouldn't know who it is.
Okay, I went through this morning.
Artemisa
Yeah, okay.
sort of looks at you as like, I was with you as well. I somewhat recognise the man.
Artemisia,
I can point him out to the group.
and Glyndon, you go. I will stay here with Oramis. And do what I can to help out in the meantime.
Looking over at Caleb, by the way, like he is a little bit of a what's the word of someone who's a bit who's like afraid of getting ill. So like he's like pulled his shirt up over. Yeah, he's pulled his shirt way up over his thing, and he's got his like hand there. It's like, I hope you're alright, Oramis. Don't worry about this. This is I have a bad breath. It's fine. I'll be fine.
If we're splitting up, I might just go with Caleb and have an initial scat out of the library, not forgetting our overall reason for being here.
Yeah, sounds good. Is it worth calling it a break there while all this stuff comes back?
While Oramis gets healed.
Yeah, we can come back. Obviously, I'm not going to make you make checks to, Artemisa, and you would have seen the man, so I won't make you make checks to go there. So we'll come back after the break. It'll be a couple of hours' time. You'll be a little bit of gold down, but things should be somewhat back to normal. Hopefully. Anyway,
We pray.
we'll see.
Alright, diving back in, escaping the delightful Viennetta talk during the break.
Yes.
Alright.
We are back.
Let's cure some infected people.
Yes, we are back. So, in the interim, the party sort of separated a little bit. So, the priest guy who's with you, he took the money you gave him, and he sent a messenger of the temple down to the shops, who bought some diamond dust for 200 GP. Gave one bag to you guys, one bag to the other guy, and Oramis is in the middle of being healed. It's sort of like rubbing this diamond dust into your face and saying a prayer to Apollo. They're being very, very careful with it. Like, obviously, Greater Restoration just sort of it's an action, but they're being very, very careful with it because it is the rot, and they don't want to sort of touch you and contract it themselves. So they're having to do a almost a little bit like ritual casting it, but not quite ritual casting it.
Have they got gloves on?
In the meantime, Mazzy and Artemisa managed to run down to the gate, grab the man who...
Can I point out we did not grab him?
No, he was quite nicely sitting there having his lunch.
Yes.
It is about sort of like 1 o'clock now. So he was...
Put down the sandwich.
Yeah, he was eating like a little sandwich, and he has this little water skin of water. Artemisa sort of being very, very blunt. Like, don't know how you would have handled it, Mazzy, but she wants to be very, very blunt with this guy and just tell him, look, you're infected with the rot. You need to come with us now.
Oh, suck your teeth, woman. Calm down. No, that's what I did then.
Yeah. So she literally just runs up to this guy. Hi, there was a disease a couple of 100 years ago called the rot. You've got it because you touched a guy this morning that we know. Really, really sorry about that. He's a bit of a...
I don't think he's going to be worried about what he was like. I think he's going to be worried about the disease.
Yeah, we need you to come to the Temple of Apollo, like, now. Of which this guy's like, yeah, what the fuck? Jerry, come on my shirt.
Can I make sure you haven't touched anyone else recently that you might know of?
Well, I'm a city guard. I've obviously been inspecting people as they've been coming into the city. So, a couple of dozen people since I saw you. It's about an hour ago.
Yeah. Okay, an hour ago. Yeah, okay, so this is alright. Sorry.
Cool.
Wouldn't have spread this soon. Yeah.
Cool. And you head off, towards the temple. And Caleb and Gylndan quickly check out the library. Now, the library, as I said, is set inside the city. So while it's quite a nice day outside, again, one of those sort of days where it's very, very sunny, but there is a very, very cold chill and cold breeze throughout the air. You guys head inside, and inside there is a warmth about the sort of inside of this place. There are guards about, sort of at the sort of cave entrance. They look at you both as human, but Caleb pulls out a small sort of token with the sort of symbol of Hawksmoor and the symbol of Mars on it, which basically says, like, it's fine, I can be here, I'm someone who works. I'm one of the very, very rare instances of a non-human, non-dwarf working in this area. At which point they they let you both through. And he takes you over to the library. It is probably about half an hour to an hour of walking before you make it there. So by this
just
point,
in the library, or not actually getting.
Just to actually get there. Obviously, this is a quite big city, and you're going into the mouth of the sort of other half of the city. So it does take a little while. Maybe not an hour, maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes, because I forgot you guys are in the temple, which is a little bit inside the city. I meant to get a map together. I didn't. Whatever. So you head to the library, and Caleb explains to you, obviously, so according to dwarves and stuff, and if you ask the Lord of Hawksmoor, this would be considered the Great Library. It's not by any margin. The library here is great in terms of it has a lot more artifacts and things. It's more like a museum than a library. But There is that quite subtle difference, and this one mainly focuses on history, whereas the Great Library, the capital, focuses on all sorts of stuff, like anything you might sort of want to learn about. Would you like to go in with him, or just sort of scout out the outside?
We need stuff in the restricted section, don't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
About
the gate.
So. Yes.
So does he have access to the restricted section or no?
So he knows where it is. There is an entrance, and he knows he could get the keys to it, but he cannot. He's not allowed in there.
Oh, so if they found him in there, he would.
Yeah, if they found him in there, if they found any of you in there, you'd be sent to jail very, very quick.
Can I see what's sort of like security measures? What I can see they've got on there.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Perception's not quite my forte, but give it a go anyway.
12. So there are a good number of guards about, but a lot of them are on the streets. Actually, inside, there isn't many in the day, but in the night time, because of this sort of swell in security they've had, the guards from the outside then go inside during the night time, and they protect indoors. So that's that's what Caleb explains to you in terms of the amount of guards. Maybe sort of in and around the area of the library, anywhere between 8 and a dozen. 8 and 12, something like that. They're moving around in sort of small groups. No dwarf is alone. That's the sort of thing you're looking at there. Obviously, they're nice and cheery because it's a library and stuff. But obviously, so yeah, that's what you can find out. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
They're just martial guards. There's no like magical elements to it, or
No. So they are just. It seems just stationary guards. Not stationary guards, just sort of regulars troops, okay. I guess. Not really magical in any sense.
Back a little bit then.
Cool. Heading back to the.
I'll ask Caleb because obviously Caleb's not coming back with me. I'll ask Caleb what time he's on till, because if he can get me the keys.
I am on till. I know I'm pulling a late one this evening. I'm on till about 8 or 9 p.m. Maybe might have to. We are understaffed. Might have to stretch it till 10. 10 o'clock being the time where us folk, non-dwarves, have to be out of the open cave. I have permission to be here as long as I'm working late hours in the library. Unfortunately for you guys, if you were caught by any of the guards after around 10 p.m., they would not arrest you, but they would have to escort you out into the outsiders' quarter.
Okay, right. Expect to see us later, I think. Okay.
I will look forward to it, and I'll try and get you those keys. I'll see you in a little bit. And you're easily able to make your way back to the temple, where by now a somewhat fully healed Oramis awaits you. So Oramis, roll a d6.
Just the one d6.
Just the one d6.
Oh, fuck off, man.
For now, you can add that back onto your max HP.
Ooh. Thank you for your generosity.
And actually, no. Greater Restoration. Would affect the charmed, petrified, any reduction to one of the target's ability scores or one effect reduced in the target's hit point maximum. No, you can put your HP max back to 71.
Praise the Lord. Am I still exhausted for today?
You are not still exhausted for today. So you had a brief dance with the rot. The guard who was there yesterday, is also being healed up. So he's doing fine. You get word from the priest, the rest of you, that he is doing much better. The guard who you, Mazzy and Artemisa, came back with is being sat in a room and will be. They're running a bit low on staff, so he's having to wait a little bit, but they will cast Lesser Restoration on him in due time, of course. Obviously, right now he's not necessarily really transmittable. Don't know what the word is. Infectious. So they're all right with leaving him just for a little bit, while they deal with the many other people in this temple who need help. And
I mean, is it just Lesser Restoration on this guard that was in the morning? I'll give him that one. I'll help out the Temple of Apollo.
They are very, very grateful. The priest who you are with, so he can cast Lesser Restoration. So he does. He comes in as you're casting it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm very, very sorry. It'll just be I didn't realize you were doing it for us. Thank you very much, cleric. Thank you very, very much indeed. We are things are a little hectic right now. All these demons and everything going about. Things are
quite understand.
a little strange. Yes. Thank you very, very much. Good sir, should this cleric's powers be as strong as they should be, you should be fine. If you feel anything in the morning, anything at all, please come here and ask for me. I will ensure you are treated. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen. Thank you for bringing this to our attention and being honest with us in situations like this.
That's all right.
Coming forth with especially dark disease as the rot is important. And you, and he looks towards Oramis, maybe think about being a little more careful next time around things like this. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen, and good day.
Good day.
Peace
And
out.
he,
Blessing of Apollo be with you.
thank you, and also with you, sir. He gives you a little bow, gives all of you guys a little bow, and you are able to exit the temple, restored once more. What would you like to do? At this point, Gylndan probably gets back to you within the next 5 to 10 minutes
Yeah, I think
of you guys being outside.
basically I kind of leave it up to Gylndan to make the plan, having seen firsthand what time he thinks would be best, obviously factoring in the knowledge that there is a curfew in the open cavern and such.
And the guards go inside during the night and stuff like that. But then again, maybe that's good for you in a way.
I think maybe we want to do it just before that. I think generally like a changeover point is where people get a bit sloppy, perhaps. So we could perhaps make use of like the kind of not like the changeover routine.
Potentially head in around 8:30 to try and be finished up and coming out just before 10.
Yeah, Caleb will be there as well, so we can get everything we need from him.
Okay. Well,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Assuming
What's the time now?
it's the middle of the day, so
Yeah, it's about the middle of the day, so if there's anything anyone wants to do, anything anyone wants to sell or buy or anything like that,
well,
it's about
Magic shops.
3 in the afternoon. There are a couple of magic shops about.
I will
Ooh.
use highest divine power to regain some spell slots, and then I'm assuming we've got time for at least a short rest.
Yeah.
Now and then, so I can get my child divinities back.
Yeah.
Could I also bounce and get some picklocks? Lockpicks.
Yeah, no, I do.
Lockpicks,
I've got some shopping stuff to do.
Yeah. We don't have to necessarily RP it if you don't want. So
let's
lockpicks,
just,
you can very easily go to a locksmith, and though he finds it a little bit, with the look of you, the look of your garb, and the look of a non-dwarf being in his store asking for lockpicks. He does look a little bit confused, but he does reluctantly give you them over for 1 silver piece per lockpick. So you can have a maximum of 5. So you can get 4 of those. That's 4 silver. Anything else anyone wants to buy or sell or anything?
I've got 2 long swords, 3 war picks, and 3 sets of dented armor to sell.
Cool.
Party fund.
Yeah. So the war picks are very, very nice, very, very good make, despite that they are a little bit dusty and stuff. They are very, very. They've been kept in a very, very good nick, and he is happy to give you those over for 3 gold apiece, which is, I believe, pretty decent for a war pick. I might be wrong. Let me just have a look. I have
Weapons aren't that valuable in my experience, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so let me just look now. So war pick is a simple weapon. Yeah, 3 gold. You're able to sell each of those for. The long swords, is this the adamantine longsword, or is this the...
I believe they were regular ones. I believe the only person who had an adamantine one was the Drider.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the long swords are very, very nicely made, and this guy, the guy tells you that he's probably... They wouldn't be very well sold here, but he knows a guy who'll be able to send them over to. Actually, I was wrong. War picks are 5 gold pieces, so you can sell those for 5 gold pieces each, not 3. And the long swords are
second-hand and all that, so fair enough.
Yeah, like I said, long swords, pretty good nick. They are more elven design, so maybe wouldn't be easy to sell those here, but he has a contact up in White Parish. He tells you who he can maybe get those to, and so he can sell you those for 25 gold each. I believe that's how much a longsword is.
Okay.
The dented armor. Now, what armor did I say it was? It was...
specify, I would assume, heavy of some description, but...
So the regular ones, so the regular Durgar, there was 3 of those guys, and they had chain shirts.
Yeah.
And the other 2 had half plate.
Okay.
So the 2 with the chain shirts, again, a little bit busted from a cavern falling on them, essentially. So you can sell those for 35 gold each.
Okay.
And the half plate, both of them are pretty busted up, pretty badly bruised and out of shape. So to work those back into something will take a little bit of time, a little bit of money. But he'll sell you, he'll give you 750 gold for the both of those.
Wow.
Essentially, half the. Half plate itself is 750 gold. So for the 2 of them, for the price of a regular bit of half plate, decent.
All right, lads.
Deal.
We are pretty flush now. We've got 1,500 gold.
Nice.
And then the other thing I want to do is basically find a post office, and I want to send a package with a modded crossbow and a set of the drow studded leather, as well as a note to Hammer to tell him that I've found these things, and I was wondering if he can do anything to replicate any of these things. And if he does and starts making money off it, if he would consider it a business arrangement with me, cut me in for a small percentage of the profits.
Okay, so that's the...
random. Is he really the best man for the job?
No, probably not. Probably not at all, but I like him, so...
Okay.
So that was just the 2 hand crossbows and the studded leather armor. That'll probably... I'll say for a package that big, and to get that over to the capital, which will take a couple of days, 10 gold to package it up, send it over.
Cool. That personally.
Cool. Anything else? Anyone would like to?
Is there a shop that will sell like scrolls and stuff?
There is a shop.
If it
There is a
doesn't spell.
there is a magic shop run by a little dwarf, sort of enchantment wizard. You can see sort of all over his quite nice robes. What would you like to have a look at?
Well, I'm looking for a spell that would help us on our travels, somewhere that can create safe shelter. Do you know of anything? I'm talking about
Ooh, a spell you can
Lehman's
create.
tiny hut.
Lehman's tiny hut. Well, yes. I'll say he. Roll me a. Roll me a D100. I'll say there is a 75% chance he has it, but a 25% chance he doesn't have it. So 0 to 25, he doesn't have it. Anything above that, he does have it. Unfortunately, in this magic shop, the man does not have Lehman's tiny hut.
This is shit. Shit.
He has plenty of other magical scrolls and spells and things like that,
Do you have?
but he does not.
Well, not that I want to do custom here anymore. But does he have sickening radiance?
Sickening radiance.
Isn't
Do you mean
that
ray of
just feel
sickness?
every time you're around?
No, I mean sickening radiance.
No, you mean sickening radiance. I've never heard of sickening radiance.
Me neither.
Sickening radiance. 5e. Is this what level of spell is this?
A 4th level evocation.
4th level evocation. My internet is being grubby. Oh, it's from Xanthar's Guide. Dim greenish light spreads with a 30-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose. The light spreads around corners, lasts until the spell ends. The creature moves into the spell's area for the first time, or on a turn, or starts a turn there. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or take 4d10 radiant damage. And it suffers 1 level of exhaustion and emits a dim greenish light in a 5-foot radius. This light makes it possible for the creature to benefit from being impossible for the creature to be invisible. The light and any levels of exhaustion caused by this spell go away when the spell ends. I would say that, again, roll me a D100. 25% chance he has it. 75% chance he has it. 81, he has it. He needs roll cost. I'm just looking at the cost of spell scrolls because I have no idea. The first to second, the second to third. That's going to cost you quite a lot.
How much are we talking?
Somewhere in the region of 500 gold.
Yeah, you're right, mate. See you later. That's far too much.
Spell scrolls are an expensive commodity.
Fair enough.
As far as I've seen. I mean, as far as I can see, cantrips can cost anywhere from 50 to 100. Levels cantrip to level 1, level 2 to 3 about 100 to 500, level 4 to 5 500 to 5,000, 6 to 8 5,000 to 50,000, legendary 50,000 plus, level 9 50,000 plus.
How do spell scrolls work, by the way? Like, could Oramis buy, or does it have to be like for Oramis a warlock spell, or could I if I bought a spell scroll?
If the spell is on your class's spell list, you can read the spell scroll and cast its spell without providing any material components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible. Casting the spell by reading the scroll requires the spell's normal casting time. Once the spell is cast, the words on the scroll fade and it crumbles to dust.
Oh.
However,
Yeah.
Okay.
Presumably, Gylndan's looking
not
for
gonna
stuff
buy
to
anything
add
here.
to his spellbook.
Yes, but not. For
Right,
close
okay.
to.
Yeah. Also, I've realised looking through my all this stuff, I've still got this illusionist wand from when we fought that professor guy. How much is that worth?
It's a normal sort of wand. It's quite finely made. He'll give you 5 gold for it.
5 gold? Is that all?
Yeah.
Do you want me to take this, Doc?
There's nothing special about it. It was just the fact that the guy using it was an illusionist.
Okay. Yeah.
Professor Terwin, that was his name.
That was it.
Good old bloody Terwin.
Well, 5 gold's better than nothing. When I get rid of
5 gold is better than nothing.
something we can't really use.
Is there anything else anyone would like to buy?
Like out of context, or sorry, out of like character. You've said Mazzy can potentially craft some of his arrows. Does
Yes.
he know how
Yes.
to do that?
Ooh.
And would he know if he needed any components to do that from here?
So Mazzy would know the basics of crafting arrows. So you need someone who is proficient in Arcana. You need an arrow, and you need a spell
This is
scroll.
to craft the magic arrows, not the standard arrows.
This is to craft magic arrows. So
Okay.
you need either a spell scroll or someone who knows a spell that they can cast into an arrow.
Oh, can I cast a lightning
Essentially.
bolt into your arrow, please?
It obviously it might not create the full effect of the thing. That will depend on your Arcana check when crafting the arrow. It takes about 8 hours to craft an arrow.
Arrow?
Okay, so I can just take one of my arrows.
You could take one,
And
like
just
on a
say-
sort of day off that you guys have. You could take one of your arrows, give it to Sam, and he could imbue that arrow with magic. You need any components? Do you need for the spell available? Also, someone who knows the spell or a spell scroll of that description.
Okay, so does it have to be like Misty Step for Misty Arrows, as an example? Can I
Yeah.
only use what I have here, or can, as Sam's basically saying, can he choose a spell and give it to me?
As long as we discuss it and you can convince me how it would work in an arrow, I'm open to any and all suggestions
Matt,
of
we're
any
gonna
spells that people have.
Chatting this week, Matt.
So, I mean, like if you wanted a arrow of charm person, where once you hit the person, they are charmed. Yeah, I'd say.
You might as well just make me your second wizard.
Cupid's arrow.
Obviously,
How
it
about
takes.
an arrow of wall of fire?
Obviously, it takes 8 hours to craft, and the DC is 10 plus the level of the spell. No, sorry, 12 plus the level of the spell. So a
so-
cantrip
Is
is
it
12
an Arcana roll?
on Arcana roll. Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, what would I do?
Make them.
So
So again, what would I do to cast it?
Sit down with Gylndan for 8 hours.
No, sorry, not cast it. Use it. Sorry, I said the wrong word.
To use it. So you would then have an arrow, and be like, cool.
So it's
You
literally
just
just
fire
fire.
an
It's
arrow.
not like I have to do something similar to the spell that he used. It's just an arrow. Cool.
No, because that is essentially him imbuing the
The arrow.
spell.
Okay. Cool.
Can I
Into
make
the
multiple of the same arrow at once?
I haven't gotten round to the specifics of that yet, but
I think
I will let you
yes,
know.
but not
I think
stupid amounts.
yes. I would say yes, but it would still be one spell. So, for example, lightning bolt. So you could get 8 arrows, stick them there, and then each arrow would be 1d6 worth of lightning damage, because that's 8d6 split between those.
arrows. Okay.
So you could do
Well,
2,
it
maybe
might be
4d6.
but yeah.
That would be something we'd have to look
That makes
into.
sense.
And if you have any
Yeah, I think
ideas,
that's a
message
good
me,
way of
and
doing
we
it,
can. Yeah, and if you have any ideas, message me, and we can.
If you're doing that over a rest, then it's technically not a rest for you, and you've still consumed a spell slot.
Yeah. So you couldn't. So this is like 8 hours of Mazzy, you helping Gylndan, and Gylndan, you spending
So
a
neither of
lot
us
of
get a
very
rest.
concentrated time. Yeah.
I think it would be good to do in like if we were having a rest now when we haven't had any combat.
Well,
Do it
like,
now.
if we find in the library where we're going to go, I think, we know we're made off to that cave system. We're probably going to be in a lot of combat, so it might be a good thing to do for something like that when we know we're going to go into a shitstorm.
Yeah, good point.
Bear in mind, Luke, this can also be done for your crossbow bolts as well, if you so wanted,
Oh, those things. If you thought you had those.
potentially.
It's not an Eldritch Blast map.
Yeah, I have actually just realised, because we were talking about arrows, I am actually 10 arrows down, so I do need to purchase.
Yeah, you can go 2 copper an arrow.
Lovely.
10 arrows down, that's 20 copper, 2 silver.
Whenever you're like in dire straits, I have a pack of 20 in my bag of holding.
Oh yeah, you do.
So,
Well, whenever I have a fight where I use all 25 of my arrows,
yeah.
I'll be like, can I have 20 more, please?
Yeah, well, it's like, that's what I'm thinking. If you're in a situation where, for a while, where you can't buy it.
Well, we can't get more, I can just ask you.
Yeah, they're like the Mazzy emergency fund.
Yes.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do at the minute?
No, I think that's everything.
No, that's everything? Cool. So, you go on your little shopping trip, you take a bit of a short rest back in the In and Out Inn to sort of regather yourselves for what is to come. After which, you can... So what time did you say you wanted to get there? Around 8 o'clock?
Yeah, about
So
that.
8:30. An hour and a half or 2 hours to get in and out.
So
we can leave
sun...
within curfew.
Yeah, so the sun descends over the city, and by about 7:30, it's pretty much pitch black. And sort of the lights in the city are turned on by guards. You can see them walking around with these sort of torches on a stick, essentially lighting up the several
one
things.
mask now of disguised Doc. So,
Down to one mask of disguised Doc. And
Get in and out quick then.
yeah, so you're able to walk over to the library. Like I said, about from here about 45 minutes.
Thanks. Just to quickly reconcile something, Ben. Sorry, can I just buy 10 torches? How much is that?
10 torches, 2 copper a torch, 2 silver. Yeah. You're able to go to the library. By now, it is obviously getting a little bit late. The guards are clearly fed up of standing there all day. You are stood outside of the library. There is the same amount of guards as there was earlier, so about somewhere between 8 and 12. What would you like to do?
Are we outside the library at the moment, yeah?
You are outside the library at the moment.
Okay, so we can still go... What's sort of time we can go in? Yeah, they won't kick us out if we go in.
Yeah, no, they won't. No, they won't kick us out. Kick you out if you go in. The library is technically 24 hours, but obviously.
But Caleb said, if you're not a dwarf,
if you're not a dwarf past 10 o'clock, you can't be in this part of the city.
Okay.
That includes in the library. That includes in any pubs, taverns, anything like that. You have to go back to the outsiders bit, and essentially your day is done. That is it. If you can sort of get special permits to go into that part of the city after hours, that's about it.
Should we go and get the keys off Caleb?
Yeah.
So you enter the library, and the sort of you immediately enter quite an anticlimactic section of the library where a lot of the more basic books are kept. A lot of sort of, you can tell, mass-produced ones of people from people like colleges would need, and textbooks, and more of the basic history and things like that are kept. But at the back of the room, there's this very, very large, ornate wooden door. And as you head through that, you are then in the much more grand and illustrious library of the dwarves. This library is very, very clearly dug into the mountain side, and they haven't hidden that at all. It actually looks kind of cool the way that you can literally see these sort of bare rocks and stuff of the mountain mixed with the officialness and sort of rigidness of the wood and the wooden bookcases and things as they stack up higher and higher and higher and higher. There's a lot of sort of really, really tall bookcases with with those ladders that you need to go up to get them and stuff. There's like another floor where you can sort of wander around the outside. And as you step in, Caleb does very, very sort of quietly and unstealthily just go, psst, psst, guys, guys, Over
Yes,
here!
Hello, we see you. Calm down, sir.
Okay, now remember, I never saw you. This never happened, but
Yeah, we know, Caleb. Just pass the keys, and we'll see you
Yeah.
later.
And he takes off the key to the restricted section. He says, okay, so in the library there is a section on history between 600 and 8, the years 600 and 800. Between there is a space that is very oddly wide and doesn't fit in with anything else. Just press or pull on the two books either side of it. They should be red. There's no markings or writing in and on any of them. Just pull them. I will warn you though, you may need a little bit of a distraction because there are some people here and it's not exactly, I mean, it's a stone door lifting up. It's not exactly easy.
I've got an idea for a distraction.
Okay, good luck. I'm signing off. Now I will be I'll be nearby. If you need me, send me a magic message or something. Did you need me here for when you leave, or?
No, I think it's less suspicious if you're just go about your routine as normal.
Excellent. I am going to.
Associated with this as possible.
Excellent. I have managed to score a meal with the head librarian, so he will be out this evening. So I'm going to go to that, and I will see you later on. Good luck, gentlemen and lady. Good luck. Walks off, and there you are. So you clearly need to make a distraction. You can see from here the space he means, all these bookshelves. Obviously the dwarves very, very rigid with their architecture and things, but there is one space that is slightly wider than all the others, which you can assume is where he means, between these bookshelves into the stone wall. What would you like to do?
Hide.
Can I use thaumaturgy to make
Not hide.
vibrations in a bookshelf sort of off to the side and just cause it to shake so like a lot of books fall off it?
You can do. Can you make things vibrate that heavily with thaumaturgy?
It says you can cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing they don't have the don't have the power to like destroy something like an earthquake, but if I can make a bookcase just sort of rattle, then I imagine books will start falling off it after a few seconds.
Yeah. Where are you doing that? Imagine this like a big sort of hexagon of a room. You're on one end.
Pretty much as far away from where we want to be as possible, so that the sound of this bookcase and the visual of the books falling off and everything like that, going boof, boof, as they all hit the ground from these high shelves, is going to draw as much attention away from the restricted section as possible.
Okay. What's everyone else doing during this time? Are you going to the door? Are you looking around? Are you what?
Acting very non-suspicious.
Need some stealthy people on the door.
I got this.
How can I aid Doc's distraction? How far away are you doing this, Doc? What's the range on that?
Well, the range on the casting is 30 feet, but it lasts for up to a minute, so I can effectively get within 30 feet of the bookcase, cast it, set this thing vibrating, and then just walk away over towards the restricted section.
I will just support him with that and do a minor illusion because he can create a sound. So I'll just create a sound of someone saying, "Help! Help! The books are falling."
Yeah, I like it. So Doc, you sort of focus on this point by the bookcase, and with thaumaturgy, you do notice the bookcase begins to rattle, and at first it's very slow tremors. You can just see some books very, very slowly sort of moving towards the edge of the sort of shelf they're on, and eventually, almost all at once, just dozens of books, like maybe like 50 books, just fall out. Gylndan, you do make this noise. Help! The books are help! The books are falling, and you can hear some ruckus from the other side of the room. What's going on here? Are you kids playing again? If I bloody find you. And another person's like, oh, do you need some help? I'm like, yes, look at it. God, this is going to take forever to organise. Come on. And you can hear the very, very loud footsteps of a bunch of people moving towards that area. At which point, Mazzy and Oramis, you guys get in the door?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
sure.
you get...
I don't think we need 2 people on the door. That probably looks suspicious.
It's a metal, not metal,
Stone door.
stone doors. It's probably quite heavy.
How far away are the levers that open it? Can you do both at the same time?
Well, it's like a single door, so and it's for dwarves. So effectively, a human or someone as tall as you guys could just do it yourself. Just
Oh, okay. All right, I'll do it.
yeah, you pull these things as all of this is going on. It does make a rather loud sort of thunk as you suddenly see the stone set into the wall for a second, and there does appear, as if like an illusion was keeping it invisible, a handle, and over the wall there does appear these sort of engravings of a quite it seems to be sort of a symbol of a lot of symbols of knowledge and books and learning and things like that, sort of engraved into the stone as you look at it now a lot more clearly. And without this sort of illusion being there, and you are able to enter if you would like. It is pretty much pitch black in there, as far as you can tell.
Oh, I've got night vision, so I'm going in.
Yeah, can we all just like dip in and close the door behind us?
Yeah. You very, very quickly sort of move the door. It's pretty heavy. It does make a sort of scratchy noise as it moves across the floor. You push it back shut. And as you push it back shut and it closes, it almost resets itself back as a stone wall. And on the other side of it, as it...
It's going a little bit. I can still hear him.
Sorry if you are losing me. So as you sort of push it back and set it back into place, so obviously as you're pushing it back, you can still see these engravings on the other side. But when you push it back and shut it, it resets itself into the wall and appears back once again as a regular stone door, and you can see on your side there is a lever to pull get yourself back out again. And behind you, as you're looking down, is a quite a long stairway down into what seems like darkness. Although as you're stepping in, and you can hear now, you can just hear a lot of the sound of stone moving and crashing against each other. Stones sort of colliding and sort of thudding over and over. It's very, very faint for you here. Obviously, on the other side of the wall, no one would be able to hear it. And I think that's probably where we'll end the session there.
Nice.
It being 10:30. Very nice.
Sounds good.
And so next session, you guys can get through the security and defences of inside the library.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
Should
the
be
next
right.
session's going to be in October.
It is.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
say
say
that. Don't say that. How dare you say that?
It's moving quick.
Rude. So rude.
And everything like
I
that.
don't like it.
7th.
Also, the next session is like a... Yes! Hopefully it'll be the 7th of October. That's more than a week away.
Back on
it's fine.
schedule, though. Back on Thursday,
should
or
be good. Back on a Thursday, hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah, should be good. Hope everyone enjoyed a bit more of a lore dump session and figuring things out session. And sneaky and sorting a bunch of stuff out. But I hope everyone still enjoyed.
Yeah. Sorry that I kind of soloed it with Sam for
That's right.
first half hour.
These things happen.
Yes. Sorry about that. Obviously, didn't expect
we did really
to
split up,
split
so
up and things
it's
like
fine.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, once.
Every now and
Yeah, hope everyone still sort of enjoyed, nevertheless, and hopefully next week we can get into all this stuff a little bit more. Any notes or anything? Let me know.